We talk on the phone pretty much all the time.
I know.
For long stretches. So to come up with something to talk about here, we should just like, I don't know, talk on the phone and amplify it or something.
Yeah. Well, here's what's really great about working with Mark, which is that Mark actually knows what he's doing in a show, right? He knows what the show is supposed to be, right? And so, like, usually the best way to do it is to go look at it before I think about it. But sometimes we don't have the luxury.
Sometimes it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't exist yet, and there's no time and have to do it, etc. And so usually I respond to the music, and you know, I show you things, right? Like horse costumes, for instance. Remember that this summer?
Yes.
He was commissioned by American Ballet Theatre to make a dance that I thought was so beautiful called After You.
Well, I always send whoever's designing costumes, lighting, whatever, if there's a set, I send the music to that person first because I always know that, and I don't want to necessarily immediately impose, because I don't have an idea what the dance is going to be like. So you got the music just after I did, and there was no dance. So what his ideas, of course, have to do with what I end up doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I got the music, and I immediately thought how smart it was to pick that music. It was such an inspiring idea to kind of just pick dance music, right? Or something that I found very dancey, very danceable, and I just liked it for ABT because it felt like formal in a way. It felt like, you know, turn of the century in a way, you know, turn of that century in a way, but not, you know, it just kind of was this beautiful, but the formality of it was what I loved. And it wasn't Baroque, you know? I just liked feeling that I could see a dance made up to that, and it wouldn't be exaggerated. That's a good word, isn't it, exaggerated?
Yeah.
When you talk about ballet, because I went the other night, and that's what I hated the most about it, was the exaggeration of it, you know? And what I liked the most was the next show, which was this beautiful Scarlatti thing. And it was like just not so exaggerated. It was just quite beautiful, and they were dancing together on stage. And the music was beautifully wrought by this pianist. And anyway, I thought it was a good show. But getting back to the Hummel, right? When I got the music, I immediately thought a lot of different things about formality and about, well, I thought about, horses doing side steps. What is
Dressage.
That called? Dressage, yeah. So I thought about horses. So you
know that Disney movie where they hide the Lipizzan stallions during the war?
Yes!
It's like the best movie in the world.
Well, Lipizzan stallions, I rest my case.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like braided
They're
manes.
great asses that they have,
I
too.
know, braided manes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, so that was the beginning of a process, and it was kind of it was a struggle, wasn't it? Because it was...
Well, no time.
It's
regular, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's always frustrating, right? And so there was that, and also the idea of the physique of the ballet dancer now is so different from what we think sometimes is beautiful, you know? It's very, very gaunt
It's
now.
changed a lot,
It's changed a lot. So we took it step by step.
But
At one point, I turned to you and I said, Mark, we can't hate everything, okay? We can't hate everything. Right. We have to love something about
We say that to each other with some frequency.
Yes, we do. It's so true.
After an hour of complaining about something, that's like, oh, okay,
right.
She did what she could.
And we can't hate every restaurant in New York City. There are some good restaurants. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
so, but anyway, one thing, I went to visit his studio because he said, you have to come over, have some sketches here. And I went in, and they were these beautiful, based on horse hides. Is that what a horse has?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, they have glossy coats, or I don't know, whatever. And but then they had giant, like,
tails.
Actual horse tails the size of a horse tail, but on a person. And that seemed that it would be a little bit limiting.
Yes.
It was just for that dance.
A little bit. No, I know.
Yeah,
I know,
for that dance, it didn't quite work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have to do that.
No pirouettes allowed.
No, you can't do a pirouette. But also just the idea of like lacing a ballet shoe and like, you know, the hooves that they give those horses and the way they bind their legs. I just thought it was a smart idea.
The wrap, whatever their forelocks or their something, whatever those parts are.
And the music sounds like equestrian music.
Yeah,
it sounds like horses jumping and doing
But
tricks.
it turned into something that neither of us had imagined, sort of pajama-y.
Yeah.
They're these beautiful silk color. It's a beautiful dance. You should see it. They'll probably never do it. No, they'll do it again, but not
slightly
this season.
Translucent, and it's this kind of array of warm colors.
And the shocking thing for the dancers...
And white shoes.
Comfortable. But usually I have no idea what this should look like, and that's why really, it's as early on as the music when I would send it to Isaac. And I have to tell you, there was a little bit of trepidation. Isaac and I hadn't known each other for very long. This is many decades ago. And I loved his work. I knew his fashion stuff, and he knew my work to a certain degree. We became friends very rapidly. And I was scared. I wanted him to design costumes. I was a little bit scared. Because what if I hated everything, and it's like, you're my best friend, but your work sucks, which isn't true. Or if it were, I could say, like, I don't like that so much about something, he wouldn't lose his mind, and vice versa mostly, except I'm lying. But I would...
Collaboration has got a lot to do with courage, I think, right?
Yes.
It really does.
It does, yeah.
It really does.
Sort of trust and doubt and
Yeah.
courage.
Right, right.
But, we can say, like, no.
You have to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's, yeah. And I rely on you for that. I rely on you to say no.
We have very similar taste in a whole lot of areas, and then antithetical in a few. And sometimes they change, which was quite interesting. But really, I don't know, and I count on the expertise of people I trust. So the first thing Isaac designed for my company, for me, was a costume for a solo that I did, because I thought that would be personal and safe and a nice try, and I loved it. We brought the dance back recently, and it was a wonderful kind of black and white, with like no flesh showing.
Practically nothing.
Yeah, practically nothing. A little bit Mickey Mouse, a little bit Fred Astaire, a lot me and him. There were spats and gloves, but it was to the Gershwin Three Preludes for Piano, so it was kind of referred to the 20s when that piece was written, and it was perfect. And then from there, the strength of that, we went on and did bigger pieces, and then full-length operas, and it's great, and ballets, and yeah.
The joke is that I always prefer rehearsal clothes. I always
Right.
prefer them in their rehearsal.
Can't you just wear what you're wearing?
Can't you just wear what you're wearing? Exactly. Because it always looks so much better than when you put costumes. But that is sort of the truth. I think shows look better without costumes. Rarely do they look better with costumes, I think.
After you, yeah. Wow, that's pretty, yeah. Well, it's like some designers have designed costumes, I'm talking about costume designers, have designed costumes that were exactly what those people were wearing in rehearsal and bedazzled or given a beautiful silken texture or something. And that's valuable unless that's the only possibility.
And then there was a period of time when I thought nothing should match on any dancers. It should sort of relate, but it shouldn't be matched. And now I don't feel that way anymore. Now I really like when things are just kind of simple to watch, simple to look at,